Welcome to Shazza's Laughter Hour here at Radio Northern Beaches 88.7 or 90.3 FM, or you can tune in live through the website rnb.org.au or live stream through the radio app TuneIn Radio. And if you're listening, you've already done that anyway, so I don't really need to say that. I'd just like to read out the aim of the Manly Warringah Media Cooperative, also known as Radio Northern Beaches. The Manly Warringah Media Cooperative Limited is set up in the belief that individuals and groups within the community ought to have opportunity to speak to the community in the most effective way possible. Radio, television, press and film. The supply of those means in the hope that facilities offered will bring about a more effective and creative community life. Break down prejudice and remove isolation, where such isolation has negative results, is a chief primary object of the cooperative. Now that means that the radio station here, Radio Northern Beaches, is here for the community, run by the community, and it's a wonderful outreach and social activity for everyone. So, bearing that in mind, I'd like to say thank you to the following people. These are personal friends of Radio Northern Beaches who support Radio Northern Beaches. And if you'd like to become a friend of Radio Northern Beaches, please go to the website rnb.org.au. Thank you to Pamela Edmonds, Rita Fenelon, Margaret Casey, Irene Casey, I think they're related, Bill Holmes. Now, I'm not sure if he's related to Sherlock Holmes, but he has the same surname. Anne Tomlin, the Irish Support Agency. So if you're Irish and you're living in the Northern Beaches and you need some help and support, please get in touch with them. PJ Foley and Sonia, John and Sylvia Cottle, Greg and Ellis Hurst, and Dennis Watchhorn. Thank you to the friends of Radio Northern Beaches. We appreciate your support. Wow, I have a very special guest. He's none other than Northern Beaches comedian, actor, filmmaker, dad, and all-round good guy, Brett Nichols.
Hello.
Welcome, Brett Nichols, taking time out of your busy day.
Yep, keep it down. Kids are asleep.
That's it, yes. And this is your me time, so I'm very thankful that you've given up some time to come and talk to us today, being a Northern Beaches identity of note.
I just have an excuse not to have the house clean when my wife gets home.
That is, you had an important interview today. So, Brett, tell me, you live on the Northern Beaches now, but you didn't grow up here, did you?
No, I grew up on Lord Howe Island, but I went to boarding school at Campbelltown for my high school years.
Oh, really? Was that all of your high school years or just the last couple?
All of them, every minute of them.
So there isn't a school where you grew up?
There's a primary school, and the high school is more like correspondence. So it's not the best for your education.
No, it's a little bit like if you were living in a cattle property in the middle of Australia and you kind of were doing school over the radio. Yeah. School of the Air or whatever they used to call it. Yeah. But you would have been Pacific Island of the Air. Yeah. Instead of cattle, like fish. That would have been a big change, moving from an island to Western Sydney, I guess. Yeah. Yeah,
no, it was a pretty crucial time in my life.
Yes.
From 12 to 18. All boys boarding school, Catholic.
But you did have a companion, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
You have a brother.
Yeah, twin brother, identical twin brother.
And his name is Mark. Mm-hmm. And he lives in the Northern Beaches as well?
Yep, he's at Freshwater.
Freshwater, that's nice. Mm. And you are actually quite similar looking.
Yeah, we are. We're actually, we do a thing together, a film project together. So
yeah.
A few things together.
Yeah, he's a filmmaker and actor as well. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I believe you had a Tropfest film that was a finalist. Was that some years ago?
A couple of years ago, we had a film called Identical, a short film.
Yeah.
It was just a sort of mockumentary about strange identical twins.
Yes.
Stranger than we really are.
Stranger than you really are. Mm. The truth is stretched to make it more interesting.
Yeah. A little bit stretched.
That's what entertainment is.
Yeah.
I think that's what the listeners need to know, that a lot of things are embellished for their enjoyment and pleasure and to make it more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Brett, you grew up there, and then you eventually found your way to the Northern Beaches.
Yeah, my father was living here at Queenscliff, so yeah, on weekends I'd come to the Northern Beaches from school, so
Yeah,
I sort of just gravitated on this side once I left school.
that's right. And you found like it was. Did you miss being near the beach and the water? Is that something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to be. I tried living in the city for a year or two when straight out of school, but yeah, no, I had to.
I did the same thing. I had a spate where, as a young actor, I thought I would be hip and happening, living in the inner city, Woolloomooloo, borderline East Sydney, King's Cross. I lasted 3 months.
Yeah, no.
And I went, no, it's back to the beaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It's full on.
Yeah. You don't realise it's the noise of the traffic, it's the grimy streets. Unless you're a multimillionaire living in a high-rise, it's kind of a reality check, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah. And the fresh air. I used to walk past a lot of discarded needles and vomit on the street, so...
It's good to walk past them.
Yeah, it wasn't my vomit, of course, but you're familiar with vomit now, being a dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I vomit twice a day.
Not to mention the nappies.
I only change my nappies once a day.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm sitting further away from Brett. But no, Brett's
I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, both daughters.
Oh, that's lovely.
Just about turned 4, actually.
And you've got the role, because you work mainly at nights, and a lot of your film projects are, done on the run. So your nighttime work is ideal for you to be a stay-at-home dad during the week.
That's right, yeah.
Now, as a special treat to Brett Nichols and all the other fantastic dads out there, I've got a special tribute song. It's Father's Day by good old Aussie band Weddings, Parties, Anything. And that was Father's Day by Weddings, Parties, Anything, an Australian band based in Melbourne, and that's a special tribute to Brett Nichols and all the great dads out there. And what kind of things do you like doing in the Northern Beaches, Brett? Can you recommend any things for other parents who may be listening who are...
The swim centre down at L. Graham Reserve or whatever it's...
Yes, yeah.
Not much sunlight gets in there.
No.
She's a bit paranoid about that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's not far, yep.
Yeah, that's good. And we'd go there for swimming lessons once a week.
Yeah, because they renovated that and made it quite large, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of complaints about the size of it and everything, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're having swimming lessons.
Well, not the little one, just
No.
just the oldest daughter.
The older one, yeah.
And got back from ballet. So,
You go to ballet with them?
Yeah.
Now, are there other dads at the ballet when you go?
No, just me.
Just you? Oh, that's lovely. I bet all the mums like you.
No, they're a bit bitchy, actually. They don't help me when I'm trying to put on a bloody leotard.
Oh, leotards are very tight, and if the weather's humid and a bit sticky, it's difficult.
The shoes you've got to put on them.
Do you have to have the hair up in a bun?
No, they haven't recommended that yet.
No.
But, she's only got short hair, so that'll...
Yeah. Because I did ballet for 8 years when I was growing up, and I was quite a chubby little girl. And once I got to sort of nearly, I guess you'd call it tween or almost a teenager, I think that was the end of it, because I really couldn't fit into any of the outfits. It looked a bit ridiculous, and I was always trying to be silly and muck around.
You're the comical ballerina.
Yeah, I was the comical ballerina that really didn't take it that seriously, so I thought it was time to hang up my tutu then and move on. But it is a lovely thing to do, and funnily enough now, if I'm trying to lose a bit of weight or exercise, I will stand against my kitchen bench and do the leg lifts.
Oh, yeah?
Do they still do that, where they hold the bar and the girls or the boys who were doing the ballet class, I don't know what it's called, bar exercises?
Well, I haven't seen a bar. I go to the bar while she's there. No, they haven't got a bar. They've got, it's only little kids, so the bar will probably be too high for them.
Oh, okay.
They don't have a little bar. But
yeah, because I know a lot of ballerinas, they do that drill, and it's BARRE, not BAR, and they hold it, and it's like a pole, and they lift their legs up, and then you lift your legs backwards and forwards. In fact, for the listeners, I'm doing it right now, and Brett's he's marvelling at that, and he's only hoping one day his daughter will be, he's heading to the bar to take his mind off my leg going up, but he's only hoping one day that his daughter or daughters, if they both do ballet, will only be as agile as my leg lifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's thrilled. You can just see it in his face. So ballet is one thing that you do with girls and boys now, but of course I actually think it's a lovely little thing because it's a team thing and it's creative, but it's also exercise and deep breathing and it's beautiful music.
No, it is. It's yeah. No, she loves it. She doesn't stop doing ballet.
Yeah.
She's just always doing it. So.
Yeah. I used to go to a ballet school that was at the Boyle Street church in the hall. It was a ballet school for many years. Yeah. And the woman that ran it was named Miss Beaver, and she was a prima ballerina in England and moved here and set up a ballet school. Mm-hmm. And years and years later, I was visiting my late aunt on the Gold Coast at a retirement centre in a very nice one, and Miss Beaver was in there. She was in, I think, early 90s. She was absolutely delightful, and she didn't remember me, but she remembered having the ballet school. I couldn't believe it. After like 50, 60 years. Yeah, well, you wouldn't have recognised me as a ballerina at that time. I think I was going through a heavy period again. That happens. And so what else do you do with the children that you like doing? Are there any particular shopping centres that have...
I go to, that have...
Like playgrounds or...
my wife's not really into letting them play in the indoor playgrounds because there's a lot of germs. I sort of just, go along with her on that one.
Well, that's it. A happy wife means that life is just a little bit easier, doesn't it?
So, but we go for a baby chino. She loves a baby chino. I love it.
Oh, nice.
Cappuccino.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's about it, actually. Ballet.
And
baby
reading.
Chinos.
Baby chinos, ballet and
the bar.
And going to the bar. And so do you have any tips for parents when you don't get those good night's sleep? I mean, have you gotten used to being awake and just soldiering on, or do you try and grab a nap when the children are having a nap?
Sometimes I try and have a nap, but sometimes that's the thing about parenting. I've found that it's not the tasks aren't overly difficult, but it never stops. You're always doing something, cleaning, tidying. Yeah. Listening.
Yeah.
Reading. Like that's what exhausts you. Just and then so if you can, sometimes you just go, stuff it. I'm going to have a half an hour rest. But you make up for it later.
Yeah, that's it. There's always something to catch up with. Yeah, I guess when they're at school, in a couple of years' time, when they're both at school, at big school, you'll have that block of time in the middle of the day. Yeah. And you'll know you'll have that time, but then...
Too old to surf.
You'll be too... Yeah. Do you go surfing?
Yeah, when I can.
But you don't really do it now, do you? 'Cause when would you have time?
3 times a year. It's awesome.
But you wouldn't have it any other way, would you?
No,
I can see... Look, listeners... his face is full of joy when he talks about his family.
You can hear the joy.
You can hear it and see it through the dark circles. No, he looks tremendous. Keeping in with the good daddy theme of Shazza's Laughter Hour for this week, I'd like to introduce our next song. It's from the debut album of a band called Boney M. And I'd like to say that Brett Nichols is one of the coolest daddies I've ever met. Going to ballet, taking the kids to the swim centre, looking after them and doing all of that instead of going surfing. And he's a great daddy and a cool daddy. So here's Daddy Cool by Boney M. And that was Daddy Cool by Boney M from 1976. And Brett, now you're a stand-up comedian, and you're a professional stand-up comedian. So do you ever go away on those road tours?
I do.
Cut them down a bit?
Well, before the kids were born, I used to go on cruise, ocean line cruises.
As the entertainment.
And away, but I've had to obviously, trim that back because my wife works full time. But I do. My wife does let me go away. Like I did the snowfields last year for a week.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And hopefully I'll do that again this year for time. And then, but probably won't do another cruise for a while because it's just a bit too full on. But I have had to cut back. But I do occasionally, if I can work out my mother-in-law with babysitting or some one to look after them, and then I can sort of sneak off for
days
and do a gig or two. But
so it's kind of a juggling act for the moment, isn't it?
Which is probably annoying to people who are trying to book you, but it's just the way it is.
That's the way it is, and there's always another comedian who can step in.
That's right.
There's literally hundreds and hundreds of them in Sydney. So
there's thousands of them.
Yeah, if there's an opportunity for that, they'd always put their hand up and say yes.
Thousands of comedians, 4 jokes.
Yeah. And Brett, how did you get into stand-up comedy? Was that something you developed as you grew up, or was it just you made a decision one day and said, I'm not working anymore at this, I'm going to do that?
No, I did make that decision, but that was after a while of doing comedy.
Yeah.
But I tried. My first attempt was way before I actually properly started, and it was terrible. But it was like a calling. I kept thinking I have to do this. I kept over years. I try again and again, and then finally something clicked, and it I haven't really stopped.
No.
For like 15 years or whatever.
15 years or so. And you find your audience, and do you find that the audience responds to you feeling more comfortable as a professional comic now?
I think it all becomes a little bit easier once you can be yourself on stage.
Yeah.
Well, for me, and like some people play characters and stuff, but for me, when I could just forget about remembering the jokes or remember the attitudes or whatever, and then just suddenly have my own attitudes and my own exaggerated attitudes, but it's still me.
Yeah.
And then, it becomes so much easier.
It's a slightly more entertaining version of yourself, really, isn't it? And I think an audience responds to seeing that truthfulness. I remember once, back in the early days, I had some advice from someone and said, don't worry about your material, Shazza. Just work out who you are up there and be yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to be a, quote, character, which is an act, really, you have to be that as soon as you walk into the venue until you get in your car or get on the bus and go home. Yeah. You can't break that character or it looks stupid.
Yeah, and then
if
someone heckles you and you want to have a chat with you during the show, then, you're either going to stay in character or you're going to have to break it. But, it's a bit, some people can do it. I think Barry Humphries does things like that. Anyway,
but that's not stand-up as such. That's more of an actor kind of thing. So you do acting as well with your brother. You have projects on the go? Yeah,
we're based on that short film that we did. We were working on a web series called The Identicals, which is, it's not a mockumentary, it's more of a narrative version of the same idea of these dysfunctional identical twins who, for some reason have to dress exactly the same, but they're totally opposite people, and they live with their functioning alcoholic mother, and there's a few other characters, a few other comedians that I've got to help them play, side characters.
Well, I think you were on to something that was a winning idea, a sort of something that reflects the two of you, but it's also something that people can relate to, because everyone has a family and siblings to varying degrees, whether or not they're the same as your dynamic, but it sounds quite funny, and if you get some recognition or some sort of encouragement in a direction, I think that's the way to take it. Keep going there.
Yeah, well, we've made 3 13-minute episodes. Yeah. We're just still editing.
Yeah.
And then we just got to work out exactly where we're going to go with that, whether we're going to, put it out straight onto the web as a mini-series, a web series.
Or shop it round. That's the thing nowadays. A lot of people are putting things on YouTube or through Facebook or other dimensions of social media, and actually they're getting seen and picked up, aren't they? So there are opportunities out there to make your own work.
Well, it's tough too, because sometimes a network will say go away and come back when you've got 4 million likes.
I know.
But then you sort of the surprise might go a bit, or
I know it's a juggling act with that as well, trying to know which is the right time and how to approach it. I guess you just keep plugging away and enjoy doing it, and then hopefully the energy of that enjoyment and that fun will come through. Yeah. Not that it's always fun, it's hard work.
It is hard work, and it's expensive.
Yeah, I know. I know. Although a lot of equipment and things nowadays is easier to source, isn't it? Or do you hire people?
Well, you can get things done for free, but
students. Film students.
Yeah, but it's hard,
film students.
It's hard to get what you want for free. You can't get a cameraman to shoot 2 weeks of stuff for you for free.
No.
And you're going to have to get 5 different cameramen to do 2 days each or something like that. And then...
Well, you've got to feed them, I suppose. That costs something.
Yeah. So we just end up deciding we'd rather pay people and get what we want done.
Yeah.
Try and work out how to get the money, and then these people will become part of the team and work with us.
Yeah. Do they have any arts grants for this kind of thing, Brett?
Oh, there's grants, but
we
find that our kind of stuff isn't always fitting. It fits
the criteria of what they want.
Stuff, like Mark and I have applied for many grants, but for some reason just never really quite fit what they're looking for.
No. So any listeners who happen to be multimillionaires and would like to invest in the arts, please get in touch with me through Radio Northern Beaches or my Twitter or Facebook or anything, Sharon Gambrill, and we'll put you in touch with some exciting filmmakers in the Northern Beaches, and you can invest in a project that's bound to be a huge success.
Check out the Tropfest finalist film 2016, I think. It's called Identical.
So that's...
our thing is based on that.
Because we would love to see Brett and his brother Mark get a show off the ground.
Yeah.
And actually make money at it.
Yes.
And feed the family.
Yeah, my kids are starving.
They're starving. Their nappies are falling off. They're so thin. So when you're not working, Brett, how do you... I know you don't have very much me time or downtime. Do you do anything particular to help keep fit or
No, I'm just pushing the pram at the moment.
Just pushing
double the pram up and down hills around.
So you have them both in the same pram?
Yeah, well, most of the time,
Yeah.
It doesn't do wonders, but it's better than nothing.
Builds your muscular arms up.
Oh, well. yes, this is radio. Yes, they're bulging.
Oh, they're huge. I mean, he could barely get through the door, really. You could just see, it's like Popeye. And how do you get the children to eat well? Because there's a lot of temptation.
We buy a lot of organic food and just don't offer them.
You don't offer that, so they don't have the taste for it. Is that one of the tricks?
We don't offer soft drinks or
no.
Like that. Just keep it pretty simple. Like maybe a treat every now and then. Just
I know it's training, isn't it? Really, it's what they get used to and training and helping them to make good choices, and that if they don't have the kind of more like junky food, that it's actually they're not being deprived of anything. Yeah. What about children's parties? Do you find there's a lot of variety of food? I know some families and some parents have children's parties and they're very strict and it's all fruit and very healthy stuff, and others it's just a lolly free-for-all. Do you find that happens with your children going to parties?
There's some where you can't go, don't eat that, because it gets a bit embarrassing. But not really. Well, to tell the truth, I haven't been to a lot of parties.
Yeah.
My wife usually goes to those.
She usually goes to those maybe on the weekend when you're working or whatever.
I think at a party, pretty much, let them go for it.
Yeah.
They're not at a party all the time.
That's it. It's not all the time. And then they get back to their other food. Yeah. Yes. So what does 2018 look like for the rest of the year for you, Brett? You're just going to keep plugging away, working?
Yeah, just keep writing these episodes and hopefully once we've finished editing and sound mixing and all that, when we've got a final product, we'll make the right decision on how to get it out there.
That's it.
And then hopefully
ask for some inner guidance.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we're very confident of a lot of the jokes and the actors.
The content sounds excellent.
It looks really good.
So you write and act in it, the both of you. And direct. And produce. Yeah. So you're like Tommy Wiseau from The Room.
Yeah.
You're doing it all.
Yeah. Not that good, of course. But
no one's that good. Yeah. That's been established.
Yeah. No. We've got a co-producer as well, who's awesome, and we've got a great crew that we consult. And ask.
You have a team.
We're not control freaks by any means. We'd like to collaborate with everybody.
Yeah. What would an ideal life look like for you? Do you have a special wish that this...
Would
you be in a film, working in TV?
Used to be film. But I think everything's changing. With Netflix and...
Netflix is excellent, really.
The landscape is changing, so we would just like to... Mark and I, when I say we, I meant Mark and I.
It's like the royal we.
Yeah, we would like to...
Because you were one egg, weren't you?
Yeah,
that split in two. and just...
Just a really volatile, vibrating egg.
You're like one of those little dinosaurs that crack open, and there's two heads.
Just punching each other.
Oh, okay.
No, we do. We fight a bit, but it's part of the process.
That's nice, Well, get it out.
Yeah. No, we'd just like to be working on something that we love working on that people enjoy. And if that is a film, if it's TV, to me, it's all the same, really.
Because a lot of movie stars work in TV now, don't they?
Yeah. Well,
it's all interchangeable. It's not one or the other.
That's right,
Yeah, so you can be both.
Yeah, so, that's anything creative like that, and that's something that we just want to do our jokes. I don't want to really, do stuff that I think other people will like. I mean, I hope they like our stuff, but our jokes, we always work better when we're doing our thing and getting people to laugh at what we like to make.
That's it. When you organically come from that place that you enjoy it, I think there's a certain energy that goes out and it pulls people in, and you're pulling your audience and the people that will appreciate your way of doing it, rather than you trying to cater for a huge audience that everyone has their own taste. Their own opinions.
And it feels wrong. Even every now and then you do a joke, you succumb to, or maybe on set you're doing a thing and you forget for a second what your original intention was, and you do it a different way, and then when you're watching it back you go, hang on, that's not what we were after, that's not what we wanted. It's good to be able to recognise that too, so you can... Yeah.
And do you use your children in the any of your...
Only as very, very, very faint extras.
You don't have to pay them.
I ended up having to... my daughter's agent called me and...
said, come on, we need some more tins of baby food for this one.
Yeah, no, I used my wife and my daughter as background extras in Identicals in the Tropfest film.
Oh, that's good. Keep them involved in the glamorous show business lifestyle that we know.
Not really into it at all. So
no,
she's like, that's your thing.
Yes, well, she sounds like a wonderful, sensible woman.
She is.
Yes. Did you meet her in the Northern Beaches, Brett?
Yes.
If you don't mind me asking.
We did down at Manly.
Oh, how lovely.
Down the Stein, am I allowed to say
down the Stein. I've had many drunken nights in the Stein. Not recently. I don't really drink anymore, but, going back a long time ago. Yeah. It was marvellous.
Yeah.
Go across the road to the beach for a walk with someone you've met. Very romantic.
Oh, this one worked out. That was good.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, you've built a very nice life. And I know from growing up in the Northern Beaches myself, I don't think I could live anywhere else. But if it was anywhere else, it would have to be on a coastline. It would have to be with an ocean nearby and a beach, preferably. Yeah. That I could smell and see and was at least 5 minutes away from.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you on that one.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And what about music, Brett? Do you enjoy music? Are you a musical person?
Sort of maybe a little bit in a time warp. I like a lot of older sort of 90s stuff. Not just that, but yeah. I don't really listen to like Triple J or anything anymore.
So what is it? All that mishmash of sound?
Yeah, I must be getting way old.
I don't know what it is. No, some of it's very good and some of it is, well, it's like any era. You either like that music or you don't, but I think nowadays it can be anything.
Yeah.
Well, so what kind of bands or singers would you say you would like? Because we might put some of those songs on.
Oh, yeah, do that. The last band I saw was about a year ago, Dinosaur Jr.
Dinosaur Jr., yeah.
In the city. That was good. I listen to a lot of them. I listen to a lot of that sort of, alternative, Jesus and Mary Chain, but all sorts, like Rolling Stones.
Did you ever like bands like Regurgitator?
Yeah, I didn't
Anyone
like
that?
Yeah.
Well, the Gurge, as we used to call them. The Hoodoo Gurus.
Yeah, I was into them for a little bit.
Yeah.
I still like
Cold Chisel. Would you like them as a band?
I did
at the time.
Yeah, probably in my Western Sydney schooling.
Yes, in your younger days.
Yeah.
Might be more into other kinds of things now. Do you like classical music? Do you play that for the children so they get to sleep? No. Because I know some of them...
I don't mind it, but I don't listen to it.
Oh, okay. I sometimes find in the car, if I'm stuck in traffic, I put the aircon on and put classical music on. I don't feel like punching someone.
Yeah.
Or screaming, and I calm right down. And I know some baby music for getting children off to sleep is classical music. Yeah. People have sometimes suggested Mozart is good for the baby's brain development.
Yeah, we have one of those baby monitors that had all that on it.
Yeah. You don't play them sea sounds or whales or anything?
Well, when I go to Lord Howe, because we don't get the radio over there, so...
Okay, so I don't think I've ever been to Lord Howe. The highest I've been is Noosa. And how would you get there from the Northern Beaches? Do you fly to Brisbane or...?
Just fly from Sydney straight there.
So they have a little airfield?
Yeah, a little airstrip.
And do you like going back there, Brett? Does it feel like home? So does it feel like you have two homes?
No, yeah.
Northern Beaches and Lord Howe?
Definitely.
Yeah. And are you glad you settled in the Northern Beaches, or would you ever want to go back to Lord Howe?
I think it would depend on my circumstances. If I was making a lot of films and a lot of doing what I want to do and making a living, and my family was all happy and healthy, then I'd like to be able to go back and forth.
Yeah. Maybe you could aim to have a home there and a home here.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have family there you visit and stay with.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Brett, with your...
No, just
would you like to let the listeners know?
Stay tuned for the web series called The Identicals.
The Identicals, yes, with Brett and Mark Nichols.
Yeah, very, very funny Australian comedy.
Yeah. Well, we might go into some music. Would you like to introduce what would be your favourite Rolling Stones song?
Probably Gimme Shelter.
Brett Nichols.
This is the Rolling Stones with Gimme Shelter.
And we're back. And what other Rolling Stones song would you like, Brett? We'll give you two, I think, because you've given up your time today. This is your me time. This is your time when you're supposed to be doing cleaning. So, Brett, as a very special thank you for being on Shazza's Laughter Hour this week on Radio Northern Beaches, I've got a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Look what I've got. So when you're a busy dad and you don't have time to cook, only organic pumpkin, potato and beef.
I might have this tonight myself.
8 months plus, and it's New Zealand beef, grass-fed.
And it's organic.
And it's organic. And then not only that, you've got the only organic strawberry yogurt rice cakes.
So the children will
1
eat.
to 5, so they will eat at least today. And for dessert, only organic banana biscotti.
Thank you so much.
And if you don't want to give those to the children, have them yourself.
My wife will eat them.
Yes, yeah. I thought they looked rather nice, the banana biscotti. So
thank you very much.
You know, it just means
this week.
You can throw them a biscuit, and they can be like a dolphin, sort of in the bathtub, reaching up and getting that. So,
they will be.
Just to say thank you very much for being my very special guest on Shazza's Laughter Hour this week.
Thank you for having me.
And we'd like to wish you, please, listeners, all join in wishing Brett and his brother Mark every success with their new production. And we look forward to seeing it. It sounds hilarious and quite relevant in this day and age. Families always have stories, and this sounds like a very funny one. So once again, thank you very much, Brett Nichols. Yay!
Thank you.
Now, Brett's going to go and start, he's going to go home and he's going to clean and mop and do some washing and get the nappy bucket organised and write, and then probably tonight go and do a comedy gig. So this is one hard-working dad. Something is one can admire. Okay. So thank you very much for listening to Shazza's Laughter Hour, and we'll be back next Thursday on Radio Northern Beaches, 88.7, 90.3 FM. Until next week, have a happy, healthy and laughing week.